Dr. Peter Boamah Otokonnor Doka kwa be saying
Mejo so obi
bibia yeboko
adom arakwa nyankopon adom what the president Mahama adom o man Ghana na ohwe the way our man ne ko na obia say
office of the president yeboko
boko pa mampeni enwo ye papa wo bo adwuma na cabinet wo hono
oh and
cabinet
okay and a Thursday yes and role specifically in that office then
yo ni edi kan me to president for ewo agrek kwayon sem ho and me san lead the presidential initiatives in agrek and agribusiness in the Medjumane say me coordinate special interest areas across agriculture and agribusiness, so from trade agribusiness, industry, Ministry of Food and Agriculture, fisheries, aquaculture, I coordinate specific interest areas. So
it's not just a way
various initiatives.
Initiatives are in free ministry or free presidents and but this role conflict with ministers, no?
Oh, Sabio say when you own conflict with anybody. So far it's been an exceedingly enormous effort to bring food security. And now here aduane abu. Obi a boku afo abaso. Obi a bo kwan a aduane abu, kusua abu, enam abu, body abu, banchi abu, eburu abu, rice abu, kuafo no kra twa adwadwo se wo munya baabi mfangu, wo munya baabi nton. Ni nyina because of the way we have handled agriculture. Into no hwa, this is the first time in the history of this country a president has devolved the work of agriculture. Na say what chichemu said ye be more efficient. Into we hwa first on the Ministry of Food and Agriculture pe. Na say mo ne be yi fisheries ni aquaculture to nchen. And Ministry of Food and Agriculture and Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture. But the critical aspect of the business of agriculture, not yen set down focus here because of where it was locked. This is here no trade agribusiness. And so there are 3 different ministries for the first time dealing with agri, plus the units at the presidency that deals with these special interest areas. And you know, that's why you are seeing all the results. And there's so much. But this is just 1 year. If you back up and so if you look at the things and the measures I had you go obi my few years
fear back up say Adriania boo, body boo, bayre boo, why boo. Can it be a result of Adiamo?
Exactly. A direct results. You see, Adibako Yokia Munise Unsus one and Chenepi.
Okay.
Because most of the food crops are enebuno 3 months now, so no weka. Say 1 to 2 years within 3 months your results would be exposed. Mekaya brana ya me interview no busam say entinyama ukanyina mu ye dabeni ebehu results and am say twen na season no endru ne ntwam. Because udua hade na wo ye dan a kwese nyinsen wonti fancy beba. It will be a case or agriculture policy or born homodia, a shadiani, ebo, shadiani ebu, said Yanni Bua, no born homodia, said Yanni and Bundiani Boadia, not just 1 year, she much I do about nothing. Nasanio Mano, Mudiana time being. Na Adriania, ye do our Ghana, Sisia, a wood just Sisia. Free, in fact, free last year, November. In fact, free from October. Adriani Bio just Biano, Yediano 2025. Adriani Bia. I just say Bia, Kube, Cocoa, Abe, palm oil, those ones, it depends at 3 years. And also, so no, what I know, I watch Bidina, I can once a man, and then Untina Mabahai. You understand? When the investment is put in there, you see the results. Mamin Kase Mincha Cocoa. Between 2015 and 2020. 2016. I didn't say you per se you rehabilitate cocoa no be na hye after mobilization the aggressive push I do cocoa no na ye share that be significant. It between 2015 and 2016 yeah 20 million cocoa seedlings and ye rehabilitate aggressive rehabilitation. Into be cocoa output na we between 2020 2021 hono you should to cover 1 million. It was because Sakoko na Adrian 2016 no na fe na aso. After that no one say I drop it. So the performance of the government will tell you whether the production will continue to increase or it will fall. Because agronomic management. So when you agronomic management in year, the cocoa tree without wealth or it will underperform. That's what you are saying. And so the results is what we are seeing. According to 2024, say 433 something metric tons, but actual fact we got 360,000 metric tons. And my yes short to 333 metric tons now because cocoa is underperforming. And so when you don't put your policies well, particularly say eduabano we duana enye wia afibia effort a wodi be shemu no na be kire ne so
e be so
sa eduabana tree crops no sa na tie but eduabana ye twa no 3 months eno de wodi afudie no gu fom a bo so memiensa na aso no watwa eno no wodi policy no gu fom a
obi e be hu
immediately and se mere wo ho anka me kone enti a eniema ye de gu akwam nti a yenya sa results
and na me ba ho no it before say be ba cocoa no and in your office presidential initiative be na wa drive.
Okay, so first of all ma minka the reason why aduane ni bu ye because ya share say friends I will miss the law.
Okay,
kuani bia eniema kuani ni nya onkeka se obedo ana se obetre na hie mu eye afudie no ebo ye waniema miensa a kuayofo anaze ye kuayo nsem no ye hwe ye frɛ no input availability say afudie no ubenya bi eno ye one major problem. Input affordability say afudie no eye fo na obetimi ato ana obeto dodo e beso wafu ena input quality say afudie no kra po no say unya eye papa a wodi gu fom a ubenya sense so na ohia no saa niema we eye niema aban bia ehwe a ema aduane bu eti no se ohwe a afi atwa mu no ye adwen se ye behwe macroeconomic situation no any forex no me masters am ye before am koye me PhD me thesis am ye no me sua me analyzing your friend exchange rate pass through to import prices ye free be pass through effect say forex no ana say dollar no epeje no mu a emu ahe and pass ember prices. Ghana your pass through effect no is almost more than 1.1 or 1.2. Not just as a dollar ne kosoro baako a etimi pushi aduane ne bo ma ne kosoro be say baako ne fa. So what you say? It is a bambia what tie adwuma na se a wonim de pa nim kwan a wo betimi control sector. And first of all, you control the forex market. You build your currency. Say there be a currency ni be gina ne na so. Because Ghana, ye input afudi a ye de adwuma nyina no ye di fra amanone.
Yes.
Glyphosate amanone, fertilizer NPK amanone, urea amanone, calcium sulfate amanone. Etino input ni nyina even clanted. And I know brand new preparation for 2024 adai catalyst for ye ni omu share kan say adai catalyst and then still mu ye adai catalyst because you see a catalyst in cry and then I'm diversify. You know, most of the technology that is coming, nobody produces them in Ghana. And so you have to pick dollar. Now they are kwama, now they are koto. It's a pejani mwabe here see the do one now they are koto. It doesn't win to minto. And as I to abe man boy din. And I'm a boy. So Osha, President Mahama in this wedding, what the start here, memui, see a control currency. No. And we have been able to control and stabilize the currency. Currency are now 17 cedi to $1, and then 10 cedi 50 pesos to $1. And so what it significantly does immediately is to reduce the cost of inputs. It's fertilizer now near ton is 700 Ghana 2024, and then 350 Ghana. Baby crab 300 Ghana. Glyphosate na near ton 80 Ghana and no crap we near Shadanya yina and no utimian baby are near 80 Ghana. Near no dempano no free taking in your money 120 Ghana. And that's our glyphosate now at 35 Ghana. Box back we 420 Ghana cedi. Box back some na box back we 960 Ghana cedis. Because of what? The strengthening of the currency. It is significantly among the cost of production has come down because the cost of input has significantly come down. It is a bio se nipa no ne kakra wa okura no timi de do 2 acres and so asase 5 acres and on do 2 acres obedo 5 acres nyina because otimi to enema no dodo because input no aba from significantly ebra ye campaign me ba ha be kan kwaye ho nsem obeka ya me kan sa de we se aban na ni suade hunu ni se ye be hwe input afudie no ne ama afudie na ye fo na aye available nti be bia obefa bia obenya afudie ni bia ato na yasa so ama afudie na badwama so no ebetimi aye papa se de ebe ya kwani no de ehye form a wonim se obenya productive returns eno ne yetimi aye na ene ama aduane ebu eno koda nchen a the whole of last year aban fertilizer ocheni free
fertilizer
emre bi atwam na aye planting for food and jobs no mo run planting for food and jobs no mo run some input credit scheme eno no be call supplier ne ho no akoje na wono aye bill no de akoma aban na aban atua eno no kra ha no adverse selection na ewo moral hazard issues na ewo na nya adekoto a because me na me de aba na me sini pattern na abeje glyphosate
yes
one wa yo ka say enye no a sa we niam we nyina we have tried ya try input subsidy da e fairly ya try input credit e fairly. It's what we designed and modeled for our government and at the farmer center is blending the two. So what you say? Say aban be subsidizing input no. Now in some instances or the actual free and in some instances credited when the farmer service center are fully operational. Those models are going to be there. It's input in the farmer service center and it's already subsidized. And I'll bet me abeji the accord do fu. Udo we are and yes akwa ton wa betua. Efudie na bi na wo de atua. It me ba initiatives no ho a me kire obaako bi a ye deploy wo ho no ma aboa pa yam yetimi ado aduane
no farmer centers no last year fertilizer no mo free
Obusa district
for cocoa farmers or for any other farmers?
No, all the farmers Obusa orekepoku sana no ba the next time oba no Obusa no Obusa no oba be ka kire free edema free obi ani wono ma ye ton aban fertilizer ma no eji say bia ne yede ma ona anso na obi na wa opese wo koto kakra ka ho eno no ko so a fofofo enye 700 Ghana biem 300 Ghana nti we den do eti aduane na ebu ni nyina is a factor, is a product of efficient strategy ye do go from okua yonsemu ena ma aduane na bu no ena me bayi obi afre me say owa aburo onye obi amanato ena gentleman ba ko frɛ mo si beans ene atebubu man hene nana Dr. Yabua esiama ebehia me wo office
okay
wo say beans no ebu atebubu am ebi mu kra plow e de afra anwa no say de ebe mo nitrogen fixation so it is a product of the investment government made in the sector and ama yenya sa resource no and some of the results you will see even in cocoa. This year announced say cocoa no you the free fertilizers in back and you will see the output. But the output last year is even higher than the outputs in the previous year. Cocoa shesi beto edwane so e say 650,000 metric tons but it's even more than that, it's about 700. But 580,000 per na ton. Ene ne yede akọ ne yede kosi awa sa rollover
yes.
Na ye tia free mu ne kra no still cocoa nkwa de 3.9 billion dollars in a bag Ghana last year. It been see that in about 10 years. The highest we got, the highest we have gotten. Embra yenya 1 million metric tons on $2 billion. You understand? So effective agriculture policy very, very, very important. And you see the results show so quickly. Sabio, when you do any policy in agriculture, when it has to do with production, your production policies, your post-production policies, and now we have time. I think say we take you cocoa some everywhere. You see, agri Canada will start here. Me here be 3 hours. So, but me see a bit cocoa time no.
And I remind them a message will be there because an effective strategy should also take care of storage. In the Nippon say, Obi, please ask Dr. Otokonnor, how much of food reserve is Ghana holding so that in case of a disaster, how would we survive without food aid from donors? Edwin Ewataka.
Okay, so that is a very important question. In only storage.
Sure.
Post-production is not only storage.
Okay.
Post-production is harvesting, harvest handling, harvest transportation, harvest storage, and harvest processing. So it's a broad chain. Storage is just an aspect. So you are just storing the raw farm products. So what you say, and depending on your strategic policy as a country, which crops you are growing, you develop the storage to suit that. Currently, under a Feed Ghana agenda now, 6 food crops, main food crops. There are more other crops that we are doing also, but those are the target areas to drive growth in those areas. Maize, rice, soya bean, sorghum, tomato, in fact 7, tomato, onion, and pepper.
Yeah, but what can you na ebu no? None of these were in there.
Oh, maize ebu. Maize di ebu
7 no maize any dey in there ebu.
Maize soya bean ebu.
Soya bean ebu Ghana ha.
Soya bean na me ton 700 Ghana for my farm. And then me to soya bean 320 Ghana.
320.
Yes. Ebu, in fact, I know Akrobia frame is all about 1,000 bucks, and I buy large quantity. I do livestock. I do all animals. Think of it, and now I do it from rabbit to pigs to cattle to poultry, turkey, ducks. I do everything.
Oh, really?
360.
Like
so I do grains commercial. Yeah, commercial. Commercial pa. Commercial.
Okay, into what about two out of the 7?
So two maize ebu, soya bean ebu, emu ebu. Emu ye.
Emu ben.
Emu ebu. Local rice ebu and sotona
Ghana ha.
Ah. Na obi anyawa na nanse you frɛ rice producers here. No mu twa adwadwo se omu nya omu mane se.
Paddy ni go ho. Omo ntimi process paddy no.
Na paddy na edan. Anwea.
Oh, na say enu ebedu paddy. Ubetima di paddy.
But yes, because emu na bu no, they will not melt because the science of it is that at that moisture levels na by 3 months, 4 months, 145 be say.
Yeah, but
science and I say.
So we've not done
that is why everywhere across the world we don't store rice, we store rice paddy.
Sure.
Very good.
Sure.
Hating rice now paddy na one. So any day that the market needs it, because it's in excess, you have to keep it because it's in excess. Say market in here, aba market. And so rice is in excess. In fact, rice is significantly in excess. Now beyond the excess beyond the excess one significant thing that we have to look at, very crucial, is to how to regulate the market. Said even whilst there is excess, it doesn't become injurious to the farmer. Because one regulating market now, particularly as our currency is doing well, also to one more be free for the you understand? And so those are the key issues. I mean, say Ministry of Food and Agri, Trade and Agri Business. Any presidency, how to manage the flow of food into the market and even off the market. You understand? And so it's a whole the management of the agri sector no and into concrete to send because we suffered with food because of the way they manage it. And I remember whilst we were crying on top of our voices, say, the way Uncle planting for food. Maybe tell studio ha. I can't say yes, planting for food and just but my document in make share ya investing power. I wanted to see what they did so that we can know how we can basing Brian Champo document here.
Na Feed Ghana the anyway.
Feed Ghana the end say anano a farmers the omuche ni free when you be the offer honorable Erica obenya.
Who say ade Ghana food deeper in toast. In
toast boo in season.
Okay.
Emma, it got to a point in time President had to intervene. Emma agogo. We had to direct schools and okay. But you see, now how to sustain the market means that you must produce off season.
Yes.
Is what you are saying. Yes. So in season, we produce some you have struggled to find a way to get it down. You see processing factories, how to get them processed. But beyond that, supply chain maintenance, supply chain consistency are very key. It is say in grown within season a big problem. It under the irrigation for wealth project now most of the areas I targeting is to grow vegetables throughout the season. And I know Martin said now John Dumelo say we are targeting our 300,000 metric tons off season production. It's the whole idea is say a smooth travel of production. Said every time no there will be available food, but you must even do that and do more so that you will be able to process. So at here and take advantage of the international market, and so that is the dynamics in agriculture.
No, mana, tomatoes free Burkina Ebano. Enra, I think 3 days ago, many of Modin come almost say off season, no. Because you need irrigation facilities,
yes,
Papa, no.
It's true.
In the intos
it's true.
It's true. And that is what you should be tackling.
True. Exactly, that's what we are doing. But you see, the thing about agriculture investment when it comes to agro infrastructure is that it takes time. The policy, and so you handle the low-hanging fruits. And that's what we have been telling the Kufuor's government in the past. Let's handle the low-hanging fruits. Whilst you look at installing in the process, facilities to offtake and process. And to share your agriculture marketing, and say wakodwaso na wakoton. Agriculture marketing includes processing, agro processing, because the off-taking would go to the factory, then you add more value, then it goes to bigger markets. Because if you don't add more value, you can't access bigger markets, you access restricted markets. And so it's a whole grand program. We have spoken about a feed industry initiative where we are looking at growing industry to absorb the excess. But you have to do the production first. So you deal with production. In fact, you do with pre-production. It is pre-production efficiency and a more efficiency in production. Now more efficiency in post-production. But what you say? And then pre-production efficiency. And I mean, no can was inputs no. So inputs no eba na yefo. Now started producing inputs ni bi kra ha. Me no can say we are working on a number of projects to manufacture fertilizer in Ghana. We are working on a number of projects to do agrochemicals in Ghana. And if these things come on stream, it means that even if there is, in the most unlikely situation, currency fluctuations, you don't suffer. You understand?
But these things are medium to long term. I mean, it may
essentially it must. No, Obi. Essentially, it must be medium to long term because Rome was not built in a day. You understand? But the fact that you are taking the steps and the infrastructure, the project starts, is significant. For example, an honorable Eric. Eco Kate sword for a processing factory of poultry. It will take time to construct, but when it comes on stream, it will work. And that's what we want from governance. Ghana abatwa yetu nyina ne say, ubeto abayi obi asebi owo ni swadi hunu. Na owo pepa. Wodi be pia say ni swadi hunu na ma ni swadi hunu na bam. And that's the results we are seeing.
Across the country say, omo trust him message in opposition. Say MP before manage sector ni momo ba mo be ni ye mo be mo good prices any ade omu gina so to aba ni boom boom e de mamo Boamah da won mama omo nsa esifom afedi omu sika kre was say ba omo na aban edge e den na obeka che
gogo kuani be na kan sa asem
e want here demonstration interviews na ye
o sa MPP ni na wase what this year so say o ye demonstration
no me can farmers na
ana guy no friends and Poliando said the demonstration
enya Poliando
it is say amuni na okay because for is meet you omu da president Mahama say watu ana mo mpese kokoo no e sector ne begu it ne amuni oh yes
sika na aba form no
ana audio wo phone no so sa videos ne bi mba so
o sika na aba form no
me say o phone sa videos ne bi mba so dia
o se ni pan so da
president Mahama say se watu anamon ebeboa amakoko sector netimi agina ne collapse se ufo no bi mba so de a ebi efiri ufo no
two things that
ebi efiri ufo no
president Mahama announce ni oma bebre
ufo na ye China na say ye den because se won say video na efiri ufo no
president Mahama announce ni oma bebre including the cut in price no apart from cut in price no or announce bill or they call parliament say yen lucky in 70% no or announce local production of cocoa into all those other things and no more than as one and I say buona ya test so then me pese me hu
video no
I've seen those videos.
Well, very good. Yes. I just want to confirm one video. So those are what I have seen. But near I can't the poyando money abajemo de no mo ye no money namne de. They have no iota of idea of what cocoa farming is.
Really?
One won't tell us here, crap. Sabio, miracle. Any poyando, or cocoa farmers. Mako 3 years will be say Munamu champion Makusebi Koko for Nim Nyanza, Koko Equia for Munim Nyanza, so more make masem. The fact of the matter is that Sebio won't me nya one Marco Konokone Enko is one tifin Kohono Bana Wabu as a 1 a. Now who cause some? Share Obi. And I know me who said could you upon Chroma a deep press conference anymore Coco no. I was in Gumi. Me who dream me. I was waxed. You can't say waxed out here. I was shocked to the core. Because Senka will be back Coco Asema. Ewo Memuha in Kenya MPP4. And I know Papa Penny movie pan, me ferry in the pan, or she no say it's no Sebio Ghana. Ye knew Wadiana. A banner saying MPP4 Kako Kwasem. I don't think MPP4 and Timin Kako Kwasem. Okay. And a cocoa sector. Atitia Pansam. Ama ya year that co for my intimate cocoa crab yum MPP4. And then Ama Coco no Acofom. Machero. Near the kind. A foodia boy heading. A foodia John Mahama de Mercury free, fertilizer free, spraying free. What be in your nephew? Who be you free also? A boy and cancer with the cocoa farmer no. One farmer no. When he said the first 4 years of President Akufo-Addo want to cocoa so 1 Ghana cra. 1 Ghana. 2020 year charge free 2021 normally free 600. And the core 600 and the core 800 and almost 2 years because of the depreciation of the city no and the core ya could do 3,100. Now when him near whom no cray woman say at the time ana MPP for 2,800 3,000 and 3,100 no na samre no cocoa drama so ye ton no aboarding and come betimi atua 3 times of the values that they were paying. And go and look at the numbers very well. Time ana President Akufo-Addo took cocoa so e could do 3,100 no. Cocoa no na eda be say 7,800. Yes. E peja ni mu ko 8,000. E ko 9,000. E ko 10,000. E ko 12,000. So ko dwama so na ko to cocoa e niam mienu e na tools mienu instruments mienu na use. You want your friend futures market and your friend spot market. Spot market and say wa fa cocoa na to a battery literally. Now they are called dwama so. Now see me kra me cocoa a hen ye ton wo dwama so no aton. And a futures market and say we year sika na advance. Now kwa sign contract agi hu sika no. Now a supply no later. Yes. Now futures market ton at $12,000. Now spot price near ton be say $10,000. Now President Akufo-Addo makuya no 3,100 Ghana cedi. Now only mathematics e wom. Sa mre no na dollar no 16 cedis. Dollar ni 16 cedis. Yes. Now sa 16 cedis no yan fa ne say e bra spot price ne kra $10,000 no ton 16 cedis a cocoa 1 ton e be 160,000 Ghana cedi. Tete 1.6 billion OCDs. Se o ka say ubuafu ubetua cocoa farmer not say de John Mahama etua ni sisi ya no na be man 70%. 70% of 160,000 ya. 70% of 160,000 ya. And almost 90,000 Ghana cedi. 1 ton bia cocoa botono edunsia ene wom. Divide 90,000 by edunsia mayenko school kakra ne enye maasi bi wa ha. Who divide 90,000 by 16? Ubenya 90,000 divided by 16. Ubenya 5,625. And 25. Samre no na President Akufo-Addo eton cocoa no 3,000 in fact na 2,800. And ye kasa ya and all the bibeka ho and about 3,000 and a quarter 3,100. So 3,100 no actually constitute 25% of the FOB price. Metro article be on the May 2024 analyzing why the cocoa sector was dying, why the yields were going down. Now at that time no not 2023 now yield now babes 430,000. Before the following, no, 450,000. Before the following year, I anticipated, say, a beco from even further because we are not motivating the farmer enough. The farmer, man, 3,100, which is only 25%. So that was the time when this no. A brand new war bemuno. Near Boamah they said
25% of saying
of the FOB international price.
What was the FOB?
The international much 160,000.
Based on then Unyasa one.
Oh, and I may say
is it the official FOB cocoa board announced?
No, and the FOB, you see, the FOB price that they announced at the time. In fact, that was available because your terminal price, I mean, and your terminal price, and no cocoa board announced. But the international price, no, no international cocoa exchange, and they announced. So international, so no, yes, so we are saying that the best pricing index should be the international price. It's when we are doing pricing in Ghana, currently we use FOB. So FOB,
the gross FOB or the net FOB?
May patch on whether gross or net.
Very important. It's important.
Whether gross or net, it is inconsequential.
Why?
On the international cocoa exchange, they don't determine net. They determine gross. It's
which one do we use in Ghana?
Patch
they determine gross, but which one do we use in Ghana?
To do what?
To get what we pay to the farmer.
I am doing analysis and choosing what I'm using. Also, I'm saying, which one do you use in Ghana? If you yourself and then one FOB price,
which is the gross FOB,
and not terminal price now.
Before we determine what we give to the price, you see cocoa industry cost.
And terminal price. And you friend and net and I make terminal price. And no be calculate you a haulage movement.
So in the Ghana you use terminal price.
Oh, dear no.
Said you can use our
idea who pan so be our question idea half. No feeling so in my dear no. It's to
what bon your baby? Me say Ghana you use the terminal price, right?
Obi to bonami chire was here. Me chire now mama ya analysis na obebin. Me sorry akono wa cocoa expert.
Me say
what you here?
Once we agree say Ghana you use
yes say international FOB price ah ye dey announce na no ya woda.
Yes.
Ye use we no. And then your net, the 4,200 that we use was the gross international price.
And
what we have used, yes, what we have used to do our analysis in opposition were all international FOB price.
Okay.
The terminal prices, they are used for internal purposes to measure your margins. Because you include the LBC's margins, you include the all those things are there. But those margins must fall within near Ebeka Uyi farmers in the free ma. Uyi 70% ni free ma. Near Ebeka no. Those margins come in between them. So they are
because of something.
Mami see. So it is inconsequential for anybody to whether ask you or use net FOB price or whatever it is, terminal price or whatever. It is inconsequential because may analysis about what the Kuyani is getting. And you are telling me say the margins that goes in should be
question. The last time many Fifi Boa for Dean Como. Fifi said what Ghana was using now the net FOB. And no determined.
And net FOB no was not, in fact, they were not even using net FOB. They were using their contract values.
Okay, that's fine. It was no more using net FOB. When Honorable Brian Achampon took over as a great minister, NRC no. But you use net of FOB now, you are cheating the farmer. And from the last crop season, and Honorable Brian here said that be omunyusu gross FOB. And then me busa say, and no one amo to aso ana say, must go back to the net FOB.
One make say at the end say one TS here you get lost and you know like how big the very creative place be. The reason is very simple. Ebra omu net FOB now omu use no. Nobody has issue. In fact, omu call to gross FOB. Okay. Gross FOB is not my concern for the analysis. And I may yet say, even when you use the gross FOB, the farmer was getting 25%. You understand? Yes. So whether net or gross is inconsequential now. We are staying on the FOB, gross FOB announced on the International Cocoa Exchange. 4,200 now, they calculate here at the set price, 2,587 Ghana cedi, now a FOB price.
But
you understand
whether you use net or gross inconsequential.
No, it is inconsequential for my analysis I'm doing now.
Because if today one man will say Nansanya price I'm announcing mu use gross na it tells me that you so net and the price will be different.
No, you see,
and it will not be inconsequential.
No, it will be inconsequential. You don't use that. In fact, we have moved away from. And I make a say, ton contract $2,600 per ton. That is your net.
That's your forward.
Yes, work your forward. That's your net. Won't mean go beyond it. But I'm saying, say the argument anyway analysis where I'm saying you have to peg it to the FOB. The gross FOB announced on the International Cocoa Exchange. You understand?
Yeah.
Now, when you are using net, it means that you can. It's discretionary. You can determine your net because then when you go into a forward sales, the value that that's what you will use. Yeah. And so that's why I'm not worrying myself there. It will understand the issues now. And you see, I don't want to obfuscate the issues. Me pese create ni tia se ni tia be do sa point we. Eti na me to me boy yi ni mako no. Enti ye go back and forth na ye obfuscate issues.
No, it depends when there is a question.
So Ovi, so I have said,
yes.
President Akufo-Addo ni MPP aban, Boamah ni MPP aban in 2024 when cocoa was selling at 10,000, media see 10,000, me go beyond to 12,000. 10,000 some no muma cocoa kuani 3,100 sa 3,100 no constitutes about 25% of the FOB price. And yeah analysis no and you can say there be we are cheating the cocoa farmer. It's because analysis ni ye ni kasi ye ma cocoa farmer no even 70% as we have done in the past. Na I can say and no baseline no yenko below data. We should be able to give the cocoa farmer 6,500. But President Akufo-Addo no money 2,500. So what it means is 3,100. So it means to say now the cocoa farmer was losing about 3,400. It will be a cocoa in 2024. No?
Yes.
One ton, one bag be 64 kilos. No, we lose 3,400 Ghana cedi. It will we team cocoa kweni. Multiply 3,400 Ghana cedi by the number of cocoa we produce in 2024. That is how much President Akufo-Addo Boamah's government stole from you.
Yes. You have come to that conclusion. You have come to that conclusion because who you sue a different FOB from what board used.
No, you need different FOB. Don't send that confusion. Don't send that confusion.
They used 4,800.
And you go and read my article. You can search for it right now, and you will see the analysis. So you will see there say who used to sell 2,600 now. What call your forward sales now? Who be catch them say who tiabe 70 and 76%. But you are costing the farmer. The farmer is losing. The farmer is losing almost 3,400, which you could have saved for the farmer. And so that's my analysis. What ye dubious contract? Ebra who one in the beko jaso. One the beko jaso. Now walk akoton adie. Now call ye the drama a so ye ton $10,000. Was media me for that Christmas in tea. Sabium previous a measurement me ton 2,600. Who does that? You are Sabio wo drop adie na akoton abenisa. You are you man say wo drop adie and na akoton a obeton sa.
Because Oka say ye educated public. You are the expert. I am not. What do you think about minimum guaranteed price? Because what for 10,000 out the analysis? The 10,000 may have been a flash in the year.
Okay.
But for the average, in the what? How would the average price play in your analysis now?
No country does minimum guaranteed price with nominal figures. You do it in percentage. It strike a percentage net was a pine.
Yes.
Fineco, my minimum guarantee price is 70% of the FOB price, and you go according to it. And no government has been religious to this down the President Mahama administration. Last year, ebra na cocoa no ababedu 7,200. That not dollar no any cedi no 10.25 to the dollar no. And you set your first price 3,225 or so. And you set our first price. Ebra, CD no, a peja and mukakra ne could 11.5 and you had 400 back count and the call 3,600. Making sure that we maintain that minimum floor guaranteed price of 70%
of the FOB.
Of the FOB. Now, now between 4th October, I now say. 3,600 no. So 30th October. Now cocoa no price no drop every 7,200 about 5,800. Yan fire sanka. Sa loss no between 7,200 5,800. How much was lost? Can you do that quick calculation?
Almost 2,000.
Almost 1,400, 1,400, 1,500. One the three. Me tell says a gentleman now interview no MPP no. Ka say a buying buy no you omo time no omo kusin kuani no. Who kusin that in 1 month? Hey, I did not drop every 7,200 till last week. Last week now I drop near Kano 4,200. How much loss? $3,000. Maminya analysis been chiro. Between time I announced last one until the time I announcement no ya to cocoa 581,000 metric tons out of the 650 that we targeted. So 581,000 metric tons no we have lost $3,000 of that value. Pick your calculator. Multiply $3,000 by 581,000 metric tons. How much has the government cushioned? How much has the government cushioned?
Yeah, but all the 500,000 were not bought from because from the start of the season, you know.
But you have said the price. But you have said the price.
Of course.
Yes, sir.
Of course.
And you're 3,625 near tono.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Very good. It's in what the size cano and I thought a dear way in it margins be our calculator no. Was certain at 7,200 and now the calculator now almost 70%. But what here? So whatever loss that comes into it, you take care of it.
Yeah, but every government suffers that because there is always price for
main cars will be so far, baby.
Okay.
Will be so far be that.
Okay.
But I'm telling you the quantum of what we have absorbed because of propaganda no more no. Say we are buying kusin on time no mu kusin. Multiply 581,000 by $3,000 and see how much billions of dollars that we are losing in this small time. Now between there now you announce new cocoa price no. Ebesine you announce at 4,200 and then in 3 days now do 3,600.
Yes.
So even the value now you announce which is the 2,587 no. Which is supposed to be the 90% of the FOB price, gross FOB price. No? Now, I bet do 3,600. In actual fact, in real terms, we are paying the farmer almost 98% of the FOB price.
Because of the current price.
Because of the current price. Whatever cocoa I bet on free last week, ebesine. You toss a cocoa now, you could jam answer. You be $3,600 per ton. Not just say. Margin that's no 4,200 to 3,600, which is about $600. We have lost all that $600. It's your calculation for from. Yeah, estimation mono nanka see 650,000 metric tons of cocoa.
This crop season.
And yeah, 581,000 every mu ya to another that. It would define say kwata. Aka ibe 70,000 metric tons. Multiply 70,000 metric tons by 600.
That will be the gap government has.
That will be the gap. Multiply. A bemo almost $42 million. Now, people, who cushions that? And so it is never true. If anybody tells you, say we are not cushioning. But you see, the reason why it has become very difficult, regrettably difficult, to make this decision at this time. It affects me, Nana, Equiedum, Ewobima. Me wofa kwa minsia obi ma a o kokofo e affect no me ankasa ekikime but you know why we have to take that decision? Because cocoa sector no sikasem no yenuanu mo MPP atetina pansam poto. Look, if we don't take any drastic decision, if we are not careful next cocoa season we can't buy cocoa.
Yeah, but that's where they say you obfuscate the matters when you bring in cocoa board debt.
No!
Pricing of cocoa. Farmers, you can deal with it. Can pay farmers for musica.
Sebio, and I walk your bank, Sikana Untia.
Yes.
Okotadia won't drink car with the no. Eh? What they cut 10 million now? Ukotadia 5 million. I won't be our car.
Yes.
Every year do so here. Sometimes we should use our natural, fair to them. Yes, it is due. Are you aware that last year alone, cocoa bills that were due was almost about 4 point something billion Ghana cedi. Wow, to Memuha and under domestic debt exchange 2023 cocoa bills of about $10 billion or 10 billion Ghana cedi. They have to restructure for repayment in 2025, 2026, 27, 2028.
No, you didn't understand my question. My question is cocoa trade, farmers also mudia cocoa now ready. And was say a buying cotton or cotton e wodwaman so. O the world market price na that particular value chain, picking the cocoa from the farmer, going to sell on the world market, and no any cocoa board car at that one. What is the linkage?
Yeah, now on analysis. Analysis. I wanted to link it into analysis. You have to include it in the pricing.
Okay, the link.
And you have to take a decision so that you don't incur more debt.
Very well. Link.
You understand? So, sir, a canon, 32.9 billion Ghana cedi.
Yes.
Out of which about 26 billion cocoa contracts. The obligations for the government last year 4 billion. This year there's another obligation that we have to pay to cocoa bills for it's due. So I just say, and no yeka. And no kodan chaya. So dubious cocoa contracts now must sign $2,600 per ton. A brana adene ton $10,000 no. Ama me no ka say
cocoa may it may not be a dubious
it is no. It is dubious. Masa, it is no risk. It is dubious. Really? Why? At the end of that 10,000, no one can sign at the end. A brother that 10,000 now when you get say that 10,000. What's I 2,600? Who's in your dubious?
But
why are you doing this?
Who in his right senses will sign?
Why are you infuriating the conscience of the people? Why are you doing that? At the end of 10,000.
At the time they were signing the forward sale contract, no, not at that 10,000. What you're saying?
Oh yes, when they signed the 2024 contract,
yes.
It was 10,000.
At the time they were
in fact, the worst
shot up to 10,000.
At the time they were signing the contract, the worst price was $9,600.
Now what my price mean?
Yes, no. By the way, every day it shifts. But at the time they were signing, within that period, the worst price was 9,600. It's the upper quarter for analysis purposes. You have 9,600 punye. Will you sell your father's property to anybody for 2,600 when it is being sold for 9,600? Will you do that?
But that one would not even make sense. Why
exactly. Hallelujah. That's what I want you to tell MPP. You see, it just simply didn't make sense unless somebody was motivated with an interest. It simply doesn't make sense. So 2,600 no ton, you know. Or sign 780,000 metric tons for 2,600 because aquaculture almost say 2024 no Ghana be produce 800,000 metric tons. It's in the mid 780,000 babe mau 2,600. Obi you 10 year.
Me too,
2,600 at 780,000. And anyame nche adie afe no cocoa you produce ye nyina na make catch from the beginning no.
Yeah.
Over is in actual wise about 360,000. You understand? But more announced 433,000. But obviously, because almost supply 433,000 and can cut 333,000. You understand? Out of the amount that I've mentioned. It is at 333,000 on Mujaya. No, one more do schedule 2,600. See, a yen and this ya buying and around the Abe cocoa board. Yen, Kwakoto cocoa no 7,200. Near Yako Agaman so Eddie Akoman Crofone at 2,600. Because it's due, we have to supply.
Yes.
Ya supply 240,000 metric tons. So 240,000 metric tons. No, we have lost almost $150 million from that trade alone. We convert $150 million Ghana Sikema at a rate of 10.5. What the amount in 11? On our the audience say, you 10 cry. How much are you getting? Almost 1.5 billion Ghana cedi.
But would roll over.
You have lost no tobo. Analysis no one to wow. Your phone show na me friend wife ebusa no. Me sure say onum kwan wo jade pa. Wo fufu na wo hwe kwan.
That was me question what you.
Na me tirem ko. Eti sa loss no on that trading alone was made last year.
Yeah.
Who pays for that? The government. We share trading in kwa the nominal loss na but the real loss is what we call the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost ya here nka obenya say nka wo de sa cocoa no call sporter because last year you turn sport you decided to be turn sport because the problem to bo metra o me call obi you turn sport it in opportunity cost ne say nka you de sa 240,000 metric tons no e ko dwama so koton ya nke benya $941 million, which is roughly $1 billion, which in equivalent terms will be about 11 billion Ghana cedi. Now, kaya debt no, debt exchange no 10 billion. But we have rather made a loss in addition because of the criminal decision of the Akufo-Addo Boamah government.
That's fine.
And no kodan cheya to be me see you, me see ye. And no kodan cheya. Cocoa board, use kotoku. And all the S1 cocoa, and the carry the cocoa. Cocoa kotoku no, and she say, oh, cocoa board, ne say, said ye, yam pet Ukraine Russia war behold ye kotoku no wiem. Said ye be yam bedru Ghana 19. 2 years bia na 3 years bia no. Ye order, ye be di be 3 years. Na ye de agu ho. Said ye be within 2 years near order another one. It is our final year ni betwem no na abedru na ye de run sa. That's how we have run cocoa board. Are you aware that this criminally minded boy here do ni omo cocoa board no? No, this is criminal. I think it's criminally minded.
Mind the words you use.
Okay, may you criminally minded no?
That's fine.
But the dangerously minded boy here do ni mkrofo 2021 cocoa sacks or mu import here. Wamu bedu omu yini nyina report no mu di kogu warehouse. And almost start this year using kakra 2022 no almost order another batch. Ebedru Ghana no muja or port or mentimi ankle. 2023 no order another one. Ebedru port or mentimi ankle. 2024 dear so womankle. 4 days to election. TME ye pa 4 days to election na ye wie election ye na aban ye kono. And omuma letters of credit of $48 million to import another batch of cocoa sacks. Meanwhile, 2022 there, 2023 there, 2024 there, ni gu port or intimate clear. And you know the irony, the shocking irony, is that 2021 there na ye be go warehouse no. When we use all over the period, I'm at 91,000 bills. No, so 94,000 bills. I'm at 94,000 bills. No, it been ye use no last year. I'm at this year. There is enough that we can use. 48 million. The end crime be do ye. We have to go and look for money to pay. Senya broni beya. Who would do this to his own country of birth? Wow, my you too. I was so poor many years. With all the crisis, the domestic debt exchange. Now our work out to her. Well, went to me and Pia. I say Pia beto in 2025. Wusa sign a dubious forward sales contract. And on you lose almost $1 billion every month. Now we are what's our swag cocoa sacks when you know we go. And he clearing due to crazy triakran and yadikatwa. Yen calculate ye yemba ho uhwe cocoa board books ma for the first time in the history of Ghana. So ton cocoa board e jopade nyina cocoa house. Wo mu cars a Land Cruiser omu yusu pickup omu yusu uto omu cocoa shares nyina wo Ghana nyina na kaboma, which is the total asset value of cocoa board. Now hwe car wo mo de a e car wo de no e bro sa asset ni nyina by 3.8 billion Ghana cedi. Who does this?
Okay.
Now obi se ube tu we nyina na ese wo deal with na eno nso sika na wo de ye sika na wo de solve sa problem we na wo sa absorb almost 150 million dollars every sa stress we mu na the analysis you and I did right now ye 580,000 cocoa ayetoye na ye move free 7,200 esa dia kodwama so 4,200 hope you be day.
Okay.
No, says no, I want an answer from you. And I mean, between me and you, what you are a potential cocoa boss. You to say Randy, not to be out. Say you walk and out to be a Randy and etina. Obey a day.
Obey a president. I know I am a cocoa.
Say na making.
But my Musa question. Dear me, Busane say, cocoa board debt has been a growing concern. It is not as if say. Since cocoa board was established, debt bia emada until Boahedu a free power. Boahedu, no, hold on. Boahedu tells us in interview I mean na yewa say on also inherited a debt of close to 19 billion. So no inheritance our debt. Now and you made an earlier point say now the first 4 years in our man to cocoa boom. I think data production they are sending them 475 is what they met in 2016-2017. They maintained it into 2017-2018, 2018-2019, 2019-2020. Almost about 500.
And no. I'm 2020. Yeah, no, 2020 no so. Now 2016, but
first 4 years in
Obi now.
First 3 years.
Oh, lawyer. I'm a math teacher. No break a number.
First 3 years, correct. First 4 years, it is wrong. But okay, first 4 years.
2020 not also. 2020 to from 2016 to 2020 is it not 4 years?
Okay, first 4 years.
Me say yes, but
and I make sure the first 4 years is not true. First 3 years is true. And let's move on. My elective man.
Elective man. Okay, finance for better. What be some question about that?
Okay.
Finance for I bet you say the best way to analyze the financial health of an institution is to use what we call the balance sheet. First of all, ye free abemu.
Yes.
Your profit margin.
Yes.
Ye jaye. Nay, I think 1.3 billion Ghana cedis.
And we will address the question.
Oh, there Tobo. Oh, there Tobo. Me I say ye obi aboka ni ye boka. Ntino me na me ya no. Ntino you profit.
Okay.
Mama minye analysis bin chiro. Yen free profit and loss yen ko balance sheet. Balance sheet total equity. Ye ja ema MPP4 surplus of 1.79 billion Ghana cedis. Total equity wamujaye 3.8 billion Ghana cedi deficit. Zero negative what they cut 3.8 billion. Wamu current liabilities are liquidating liabilities. A car what the ese utiaka. You understand?
Yes.
20.2 billion Ghana cedis. Yeah, liabilities are 1.6 billion. So usha non-current liabilities wamuja 12.3 billion Ghana cedi. Ye non-current liabilities 2.9 billion. Eti current liabilities yete u trade nti no sa e kana ese utua but wo hwe wo assets ne wa ho ne awo ne sika wo nyina e kana wo de no sika ne bro e kana wo de ne so ati ase eti ne sha ka ye current liabilities ne ye non-current liabilities ni boma 1.6 plus 2.9 billion unya be say 3.4 billion. 3.4 billion. That was our total liabilities.
The argument is that Cocoa Board na debt be any when Boahedu took over. Oh, that argument. But
before na me can na be ma repeat it. Me say current liability or the car.
Okay.
But near the car 1.6.
Okay.
And na ye the non-current liabilities and also another car.
Yes.
But no ye long term car.
Okay.
And we 2.9 billion.
Okay.
Into Boamah 3.4 billion.
Okay.
A car near there.
Okay.
Okay.
When he was taking over.
No, that is 2016 Boahedu.
They take you over.
The famous Boahedu. O take you over no. Not near wo ni.
Okay.
O free abemu no. The current liabilities are 20.2 billion cedis. The non-current liabilities are 12.3 billion cedis. Boamah 30.5 billion cedis. Shani assets. The assets no 3.8 billion cedis less than 30.2 billion cedis. So this is the record.
Okay.
This is the record. You see, and how many people
on liabilities no was the 1.8 billion syndicated loan. Now Moji in 2016 na eka because he made that point when I interviewed him.
You see.
And the point he made actually, they say, "Sa 1.8 billion a mokoje, you know, muka number of bags tons a mode ba beto. Omo buy by December, move free a bem omo buy, you know. Now 1.8 billion in na asa. But na cocoa a mose mode beto na monto bebre. And nothing amount cocoa bills of Bank of Ghana.
Values now me boy are audited accounts by the Auditor General.
Okay.
These are the values.
Okay.
This is the audited position of Cocoa Board.
As of December 2016.
And a mama we.
As that would mean 1.8 billion syndicated loan.
You see, well,
at one point
one thing that you can do easily when you want to confuse people and you don't want open who didn't drop you obfuscate the issues. Mama audited account whether a syndicated loan, unsyndicated loan, whatever, it is inconsequential because it is valued in the total balance sheet. So whether it is part of or not, it's inconsequential for me.
Yeah,
and that is not even the discussion because syndicated loan has been a thing of old.
Yes,
and syndicated loan has really helped Ghana in buying cocoa. One crisis syndicated loan in 2023 proposals somebody called Jamaso some cocoa syndicate all was rejected.
Yeah,
all was rejected because Cocoa Board was getting insolvent. So they came to tell us, oh, I feed the young syndicated loan because we are going to use an innovative model to raise funds because we will not go. And I remember shouting on top of the roofs, say it is not because they are making a strategic decision. It's because they've been rejected on the market.
A necessity.
Yes,
they have to
you don't have any choice. And indeed, the worst of it was that they couldn't raise cocoa bills. You couldn't go to the bond market because you are insolvent. Your balance sheet no na mabubu
was not looking good.
Balance sheet bank obi aniwa or your broker, bond broker or financial broker, an expert financial analyst I will advise you say go and buy cocoa bond. So it wouldn't have worked. Already because we are in the DDEP structure no move amount for ako. Do you know that when they did even the DDEP cocoa bills that they were supposed to pay coupon rates of about 7.5 and 8.5%. Because of DDEP, they have to move the coupon rate to 12.5%.
Okay.
12.5%. You see, this is the mess.
One other argument, Honorable Boahine.
Oh, now can say me drew affected price no. Okay.
One other argument, and it's when they took over in 2017, there was a drop in the world market price from a little above 3,000 to 1,000 and something. Na ihia sese na e wasan common so tebo ne so ba ban an tebo ne so. How do you respond to that?
It is completely inconsequential.
Adentia.
No, it is inconsequential because at the time dollar no mu use no, they were not using the model that we are talking about, which is the FOB price. We have indexed our pricing to FOB. But what model were they? Net FOB. It's net FOB no more there. It is inconsequential because we are telling you say price no a fluctuating. So you must have a flexible pricing regime so that at least if for nothing at all, it works somehow along the curve.
No, but you are speaking English. You are not answering my question. My question then is say, almost you take you over in 2017, like has happened this year. World market price drop.
It's not a question, it's a statement. That's why I'm not answering.
No, maybe drop.
What catch them say? Oh, drop once a I mean, can them for home.
Almost say once a son they paid.
Why
are you more drop it price?
Why we are dropping the price?
Yes.
I have told you that the kind of burden that we have inherited from the reckless mismanagement of Boa Hedu. Yentimi nka say yeja price no. And the drop that we have received is significant, such that the losses are huge. And already a collapse. Akoya se wakonya accident obi ni etwitwa onan mienu na omienu account sam mienu eno ana wodi ye bibia osimibu afu eyi me hu se we ne muki kame we so muki kame ma fase kan me twitwa agu. Will you do that? You are finishing yourself. That's the whole scenario that we are in. When I na twitwa enya wo fault account sam mienu eno ana wodi ye bibia wo se eyi emuki kame etini me twitwa no so agu. Then you are committing suicide.
The cocoa board you left for them was so good to the extent so even when the price dropped in 2017.
My brother.
Now
numbers no they lie. Cocoa Board's financing was strong. Cocoa Board was doing surpluses of 1.79 billion cedis. You know what it means in 2016? 1.79 billion cedi in 2016 when dollar was 4 cedi. You know what it means? What was Ghana's GDP in 2016?
Is it true that
Obi don't jump that my assembly assess yeah me papa munati frontier and I make say 1.7 billion cedis excess na no at a dollar rate of 4 cedis. What do you know what the value of that? That's what we left for them, and they are leaving us a debt of 3.8 billion deficit.
Is it true that when you took over in 2025, Cocoa Board account are now UK I bind the Nijamo $500 million. Say what's our account? Is that true?
You see, say obi pese order da ona odisivi wa. Ena ensam ne ba na otete nchen o se madansi ni wa abrochire we kra po de o mabo abrochire o se na dansi ni wa abrochire enti yenko ne yenko hwe. Sa sika na ewo whatever money that is in Afghanistan or UK or whatever all comes into the balance sheets of Cocoa Board. What you say? It's in the who picture na kasa no is the balance sheet.
Balance sheet.
And that's what I am showing you. So don't go back to all those things.
I'm only putting before you claims they have made.
Okay.
So you respond.
Yakase bank habe chesi wo de ka 10 million. We see o mi wo 2 cedi wa account mu. Etu wo 2 cedi wa account ma. Na chese one de ka 10 billion. Those are the issues. So the issues are that a Canadian decisions no so mo ye ni be criminal ama wo man no enwa kwa ahohiahia ama ye hwii a enye yie na nti no samri yenjae ento na sawram na koko sector no enkrase e krase wan ye bebo ni din Boamah time ena koko e krase ye enti ni senti no ne ese ye ne say we have to take one of the boldest decision never in the history of cocoa since the days of Tetekwasi has any government, any institution. Let's go beyond Ghana. I just want you to see the state of the matter. Never in any country that trades cocoa, our more institutions and managing regulatory cocoa, do they pay over 90% of the FOB price to the cocoa farmer? Never ever. It be see that.
But government had no option.
But you see,
if government had paid 70%, then you'll be paying farmers about 1,500.
So now you are talking for government. Government has no option.
Yes,
so, government. Yes.
I'm just trying to.
The government has no option. Now I catch a creating no team and you say government has no option.
In the interview, now make us say, Omono Omako school.
All the 100%.
How do you
100%? Or no, our school no any issues. No,
would they explain that to the farmer? The farmers are not ready to let some of your money say. A car near Tia and a baby about it.
One on the Aquaculture credit say a car near Tia Winnie and I don't Mahama so their mouth for. Now she say she in Koye, Yandikabia, a buy absorbe, and you're on an army responding to know. I say I buy absorbe, or more time, or more absorbe. That was what he was saying. They are not telling the truth to the farmer. Into the number studio, me baby and Sunny and you. So that you and I say you won't hear to Cocoa Board and I will take a decision. What decision would you have taken? Matters are man forecast. Oh, I didn't yes, you Randy Akoto. Are you aware that Randy decisions or yenti only out of 580,000 metric tons na eton ye no? 240,000 if free mo ebe almost 340,000. Sa 340,000 no ebi aka egu Boamah so ha yentimin ton because price na sesa eti yentimin ton ye kakra na Randy koto ye odwaman so no what the $3.9 billion and the buy 8 years Akufo-Addo life obedi president any boy here do etna Cocoa Board woman cocoa am beyond 2 billion Ghana. The highest was in 2000 and I think 2001 or so. 1 million metric ton. That's the only time government in your contribution of $2 billion. Randy, with all this crisis, has brought in 3.9 billion with all the rollover you could Yangiska and in the Akawa stores. And you are telling me what?
Otokonnor,
so
okay, my memory satisfying now question. Which say you move from the onset, sir. About trading now, I buy two options: forward sales, spot sales. The last government was heavy on forward sales. Monoma take the strategic decisions, mobile more spot sales. It's been said, sir, that decision, because for spot sales, you gauge the market to get price, maximize or benefit. Now, what on? That singular decision, some because spot sales, and I create this mess at Yamaya. Government has had to drop cocoa prices to the farmer because when the market was good, into more expert trading, you say it drew bullish when the market was bullish. It drew time a year. Monton, because you were anticipating say besia kosro more and boom a drop away and I mean a bad trading choice on the part of Cocoa Board and government and the respond to that.
Absolutely not.
I didn't.
Exceedingly defective for anybody to suggest a bad trading choice.
I didn't hear.
It was a trading choice. Yeah.
Yes.
But that trading choice had brought in $3.9 billion US. Ayinya says can it be that?
Yeah, but that trading choice for the first time in our history, cocoa prices has to be dropped in the middle of the
when you will some question, I know what to no material into any bad trading choice. So out of that choice, we had the liberty to sell only 340,000 metric tons. Me no can say you were about 100,000 metric tons or thereabout. Let's granted. And that I ton. Yeah. Out of that 349, you ton only 240,000 granted.
Yes.
And at that choice, another 3.9 billion.
Yes.
And as you see, you cocoa ni go and cotton. We have not made loss. We still have the cocoa. And our President Mahama Kacha said, Ghana and the Ivory Coast, the whole world, cocoa, you supplying na Ivory Coast and they produce 65%. The global market for cocoa is $142 billion US. 142 in Ghana GDP compared to cocoa market. And so we are seeing in Ghana and Ivory Coast and you produce 65.
65.
And the value on the market is 142 billion. Ghana and Ivory Coast are less than 2% of that. You know why?
Yes.
Because of reckless trading decisions like near the other reason is we are not adding value to gain more, and that is why we get less than 1% of that 142 billion. And so to be able to do that, what do? You add value. And so President Mahama, what was your question? What was your question?
Hold on.
Trading choice. So I'm telling you why the trading choice that we did is the best.
Going to produce, selling 50% to the local value addition companies, that's a different argument. We'll come there.
It is not a different argument.
Hold on. We'll come there.
It is consequential.
What I'm telling you is, at the start of the crop season, government announced a certain price, 3,600 to the farmer. Middle of the crop season, government has had to come back to announce a reduction to 2,500. It's been argued, that move by government was necessitated because Cocoa Board in their trading decisions, rather than doing forward sales, they decided to go spot. It did not more try air time so many good price. In their weight, and a world market price at Tambo. And they have no option than to reduce prices for the farmer. That's the question I asked.
Okay, Obi, me blackboard one can bear me the but mini blackboard. Good trading choice. Any bad trading choice. May me say any bad trading choice.
Okay.
And a good trading choice. Okay. Because when I had 340 beans to sell, I sold 240,000 of that.
Okay.
To get 3.9 billion. Then I kept the rest of the beans, which means I still hold my property.
Yes.
I have not traded the property.
But you trade. You cannot chew the beans. Okay,
but I will not trade at a worse price.
How?
But I will hold it. And if I'm not getting a good price, I am going to process and add value so that I would be able to multiply my price by 200%.
But the processing will not be done by Cocoa Board. It will still be so.
But the Ghana government will get over 200% of its earnings on the value of that cocoa. Obi, a simple 1 + 1. If we process the beans that I have not sold, Unim say for every ton of cocoa that you sell at the raw beans, when you process, you are able to earn 200% of that. And that is a standard metric I use. So what we are saying is, for that cocoa beans that we have not sold as a result of our strategic planning, that cocoa beans, irrespective of anything, is still worth about 200% more if we give to the cocoa processing in Ghana. and they process, sell to the market or sell to the external market. And you tell me this is a.
But if you are familiar with cocoa board, every year, especially during the light crop season, no? So light crop beans no always are sold.
Please. Don't let anybody deceive you.
Is that not true?
In the last 6 years, the cocoa processing factories in Ghana, they import their light crop from Ivory Coast, Nigeria,
supplementary to supplement what they get from Ghana. That's the fact. Yes.
Most of the forward sales that we have done in the past 4 years or 5 years, we have logged in the premium cocoa beans, the main crop season, and we have logged in some of the light crop seasons, and we have sent them out.
Yeah, but not
that.
But so
and we know I catch them saying we now so we say
Honorable Dr. Peter Boamah Otokonnor.
In fact,
aka Vandal Bola.
Powerful. The last 4 years. The last 4 years.
Yes.
All this processing. In fact, 2024. Let me stick to 2024. The data was just released by GSS. 103,000 metric tons of light crop was imported.
Yes. And when you look at
are you aware? Are you aware? CPC, all the other cocoa processing factories, most of the times they work only 4 months and close in the year because they can't get the beans, they can't get the supplies. Do you understand? That is the reality. The light crop do not go to them, and they have to take permission every time to import light crop.
Yes.
And that is making them unproductive. Last time, somebody asked me, he's a journalist, and he said, why is it that cocoa in Ghana is too expensive? Even the golden tree chocolate, King's Bite in Yamano, Yentiminto. Then I told him that when you are growing too much beans and you are still importing beans to process here, you can't expect the processor to run its overheads above and sell it cheap.
Yes.
Very expensive input cost. So, but you see, the formula we have brought in right now, process 50% of the total cocoa value.
Yes.
The installed capacity of the processing factories is 400,000 metric tons. They don't do that.
Yes.
None of them they've not done full capacity before.
Yes.
If we are going to give them 400,000 metric tons, it means that globally, the market will short 400,000 metric tons of beans.
Yes.
Do you know the effect on the market? I am a chartered financial analyst, and I do brokerage as well, and I advise people on financial decisions. If I would advise President Mahama to make any decision, it is the best trading decision that we made last year and the decision that we have made this time around. That 400,000 metric tons. Wait.
Last year decision, man.
Oh, so now one alcohol buy. Also, your cost spot price. Your anchor forward.
Oh, so
making. Okay. That's what I'm referring to. And so the 400,000 metric tons that we have withdrawn from the market, if indeed we are going to keep to this, Obi, we will change the market dynamics on the global international cocoa exchange, because a shortage of 400,000 metric tons on the cocoa exchange is huge. We'll see what will happen to the prices. It's in me, I'm predicting. I'm telling you as an analyst. The price fall is temporary. After na Ghana cocoa farmer be de. Se Ghana cocoa farmer be so yasino wa support in this difficult time. You have no idea. Because the edene say ya say 70% near go below. It's any time. This is now you're taking about affect market, now market now price in about 10,000, 11,000, 12,000, 15,000. Cocoa farmer one ebedi.
Mobeto bo na man 70%.
Enye cocoa farmer ebedi.
Ehon bail e parliament.
Enye krani na ebedi. Yodom aye bra me ye campaign call ye konkrase kasa ye nyina ne se. Me so menim de kakra me wo no. Me de beboa aban no na aban no amagana fo adi enye sa.
Be no ne if do you as an analyst
enye if when
o say
when
as an analyst no o share crystal ball ni ma ebo ne besan akosoro
ebe ko nchekra. Even with the market decisions that we have taken, and I've seen that Ivory Coast is moving closer to us. I mean, Ivory Coast is also converging. If Ivory Coast should decide, so Musu process 50%, the market is done. The market is done. I ran presidential initiatives for the president. One of the projects that I was working on was in cocoa. President said, you can grow 200,000 new hectares of cocoa. And this will be like cocoa.
State-led.
Yes, state-led. And so we are running a youth in cocoa program with Cocoa Board. You develop it that 200,000 hectares in the middle belt of the country. Northern water is a belt that is not on.
But such a major and consequential
Tobo.
Okay.
You need to look at the model first before you read meaning.
No,
before you read into the name.
Say state-led farms, I should be proper farming.
No, state-led farms will not be functional. And so this is what we have done with that model. We have invited private sector participation.
Okay.
And so the government facilitates private sector driven. So most of the investment will be done by private sector. Okay. Input cost and any money. There are only a few that
provide land.
Yes, and there are only a few that Cocoa Board will do.
Okay.
You understand? Just for also to have a model. You understand?
Okay.
But it is private sector led. But essentially, the thing is to address production.
Sure.
Now, if Ivory Coast takes that decision to also process part of their cocoa, now yet me expand the scope. Now you process a portion of the cocoa. It will change the entire market dynamics completely. I can tell you on authority, there's one of the biggest cocoa processors in the world that came to Ghana last year. And as if they knew that the dynamics may change under President Mahama because of our campaign. And when they saw the initiative, they said they wanted to be part. Free last year, Omar Dili Dalisa, MOU near yeah, now so 200 now. When we finish, I'll send you.
2,000.
50%. No?
Yeah.
Now, President call AU, our cocoa said we are processing 50% of your cocoa, and also sending me video. No, say we need to execute this project immediately.
Now, but
you see, the market is going to respond, and they will respond very fast.
I get you.
And this is what is going to happen. You will see that the market will now move into Ghana for the processing in Ghana.
Yeah.
Now, when they move to Ghana to process, jobs, Abba.
But some of them
the
are
real
value.
Here. No, the real value, and so Abba. Some of them are already here. And so you see, it takes tact.
But
it takes a lot
Doctor
to make this bodies.
What I am asking is, at the time Cocoa Board announced prices last year, September, Finance Minister issued statement etre Nioma aban and no be about even scholarship on person or for cocoa farmers and any other. Nowhere in that statement, or this shame we say you be processing 50% ewaha. What it tells everybody listening is the decision to process 50% wahano, a decision that was born out of this crisis. Cabinet emergency meeting and omobe announce it. That cannot be a reason why price drop no farmers enya. My question was, say, the decision to do sport and more China and a world market price a drop away, no money any other option than to give farmers this price. Respond to that. You've not responded to that.
What a story with that Jenny by sea.
Maintain Jenny by sea.
A collab in the course of cultural exams. Na
Dr. Otokonnor.
No David Tobo na ne amana pose a composition never but no better about the journey I made by sea. And I'll call you no question I demand no na a journey by air. Till one or say okay metro. T. And I'll say the journey to America was by air. So when the plane flew from Otokonnor International Airport.
It passed on the sea.
On top of the sea, the plane developed a fault. And the plane dropped down into the sea. And the rest of the journey was by sea. And no,
but you agree, sir. But you've not answered that question.
I have answered all that question. You are just choosing your own, and you are choosing your own questions and providing your own answer.
Is it true, sir, the decision to wait for a favorable time to sell on spot, and a year trying a price ne drop. Is that true?
No, whatever decision, you see, that's why they call them market instruments.
Yes.
So there are instruments that are available for you.
Yes.
Each of the instruments, it has its associated risk.
Yes.
So you must have the risk in mind.
Yes.
That's why in financial analysis,
yes.
it's called risk mitigation.
Yes.
So you must have the risk in mind
yes.
and mitigate the risk.
Sure.
And so what I'm telling you is that the risk would have come anyway, because so far as the price was going up, it means that it could come down. And when it comes down, it means that it could go up.
In our case, we were waiting for it to go up and a bar down. So the
senior counsel Obi. Doctor, say what I could do. Only the Abedrua. So what I'm saying is, the tools that are on the market,
yes.
every tool has its own risk.
Yes.
So for every tool that you select at which point in time, you want to maximize your gains.
The gains.
You understand?
Sure.
So when you maximize your gains, that means that there will be times where the risk will hit in.
Yes,
but you must have a mitigating measure. But already in Ghana, ye cocoa issues say cocoa problem. And everybody talks about the problem. But we have not been bold to make that decision, which we know.
Okay.
And look, from 2023, 2024, I've always said there's an irony. The biggest irony in agroeconomic history in the world is cocoa. It's the biggest irony. The irony is that on minor produce less than 2% of it. And every international platform that I've stood on to speak about agriculture, I have mentioned this.
Yes.
But that means that we know the problem. But what's the solution?
The problem is to add value.
The solution is
we know.
Yes. So you see, it's a mitigating tool that was hanging that nobody had deployed. And so if you deploy the spot price and you now see that Trinity,
yes.
you must deploy your mitigation tools.
Yes.
One of whom is the 50% that we have decided. Because again, if you are the biggest producer, you should control the market. If you are a biggest producer, you should control the market. Yes. And that's what everybody does. Commodity trade.
With what has happened this year, would you still advise Cocoa Board?
Readily.
Say cost still with sports price.
Oh, no,
sports sales, no.
But why? Say you predu asasi enjimi you. Na ade na drop it and then when we say free last week crab ba do 3,600. Wo kwa Otokonnor sport price. Ade na eko. So what you do is that you must hedge. That's why in risk mitigation we call hedging. Hedging is not forward sales.
Hedging it's a form of hedging. Forward sales is a form.
Well, it's a form of hedging, but that's not the hedge. You are not doing forward sales, so you hold. You understand? You hold the commodity and be reading the market. Then you drop it in so that you see if you can control the market. Market will pick up. Then you go in there. You understand? And so there are multiple tools that can be deployed, multiple risk mitigation measures that can be deployed. Essentially, commodity ye di nyina ne ye ka nyina ne se akuafo no ye sere mu ambrasie mu.
Okay.
Omonti ase ma ye se sa mre yi ade na ya no ya ye in their interest so that they can gain more than whatever they have earned in the history of cocoa. Because you tools now, these are the things that you go in. Indeed, if we are able to hold 50% of our beans, we can set our own price for the farmer. We can set our own price, and we may not even be able.
The one you sell locally. No?
Yes, you can set your own price because now you are controlling the market, and market determines the price, demand and supply. You understand? And so you need to understand these things to be able to make an efficient decision, and that is what we have done. It's no equiafono adesrede. So mutie miracle boaje mo no randi mo monte adna se na wo mo eyebo hwi no mo di omachi
entremu randi na wo kan ye wo ka Collins wo so amankwanye randi
okay say randi Collins wo so amankwade nickname no say randi enye randi abe enye randi abe
mo no obi ankofa wa no ense
we dey why ade nyumre mema oprekonam etino sa omutie ni MPP fo no ye no ne sa ayi frakadam demonstration na omo se omo ye no ayi Poland omo ne nam a omo se omo ye demonstration ne ma na they will lose something very important that they are going to get for their families and for their future for the first time obi hwe sa bo na ye de aba 2587 no Even so the goods and yeni now your real analysis. I won't say the farmer is better off than when MPP was in power.
Yes.
So MPP has no moral authority. They have no moral room, moral space to do the reckless things that they are doing. In fact, me MPP near, you will not see me anywhere near radio. Me Otokonnor, me MPP near. Some crisis way, and I'll wait for something else to come. The right time that I can make meaningful, sensible analysis. This time, no analysis can be done sensibly to support MPP in this time. Now. Why? Obi, 2,587. Obi a business you want your friend input cost, and you want your friend your expenditure, and you want your friend revenue. And you want your friend profit. Near my means, I'm a boy. It's no revenue. No, you ton adiana scale binyano. Any input cost near scale be say edia coton adiana and I said yes, edumano. And our profit yes, I would say a cost in the free revenue no man on your profit. Me boy. Cocoa farmer be our do cocoa and Kufu do not turn the fertilizer 700 Ghana cedi. Now Otokonnor 80 Ghana cedi. We near for crown and maybe bubble bossy. Condemn fertilizer we use and order done therefore. Minim fertilizer here will be used to the 1 acre farm, but maybe analysis be actual. Se cocoa farmer no eto fertilizer baako. No Otokonnor box baako 960 Ghana. No the can 700 no where be ahe. Ebe 1,660 Ghana me boa. Very good. Akufo-Addo President Akufo-Addo ne Boamah mo e ma no cocoa no bottle baako 3,100. Yam fan is a cocoa farmer no. Wo de ni cocoa no enso kra enso. 81 acre bia no. Wonya bag baako pe wom. So onya bag baako pe wom a na chese afinu kwa we ya obetwa 3,100 cedis. Wa say 1,660. Tifuri mu na he. Aka he. Obi yama me say we de nyina ye de bro ye ho. You understand? I can't bear 1,440 and 1,340.
Bottom line is a farmer near better off with this.
It's no profit in here. And then your mama say, fertilizer now, or they Otokonnor or they more free. Condemn no now the goof cocoa no suno obespriama free. And a President Mahama say, Sisi a cocoa no jama so the problems amabubo so nyina ntino. What is so about 2,587. It is a car where I will Unyambo be Mwaswas Akano or the Niamane Brew. It is a revenue now, Unyano 2,587 will cost a zero. Or revenue a 2,887 or profit yae. Young Fanny say, Sanya Maya would be do cocoa Nina or profit here 2,587. A na obi pay a bien and yas and non tiasi. Or profit no. Young Fanny say, in the Tobo, Obi, ya Tobo. You say, there be more. Some debits. When I show you a time on onion. I order. Me, we are betting your Busam Sack. It's also me move. I know I'm a master. Say, young Fanny say, ya the fertilizer and a bro. Yes, ya best place, but also. Okay. Because I bind the NAB enough. Okay. Okay. It is still a Kodjama so now Kotobi. Sisiano, President Mahama Daruma, any economy a general yinti. Fertilizer near 300 Ghana cedi. Odi quarter 350 Ghana cedi. I have for 4. It will tobacco, or the ISF no. Condemn na 80 Ghana no. And then condemn na 35 Ghana. Box near 420 Ghana. It no so odi account. Okaboma, ebe 770 Ghana cedi. Yes. Okay, it will cost of production 770 Ghana cedi. Now revenue 2,587. Yeah. And 770 cost with free ma unya. Catch me say kweni a wodo eneno. MPP aban so no ye better off than Sisia. Catch me. In the dock. No, Obi, me no wa. Jura is here. Obi, answer na be busam question. You catch farmers. No, answer na be busam question. Me so no me srew. Wo ye farmer, wo betu so ne eh. Just answer me. O de ye fa no to chan kuani bia. Kuani kuani bia. Eniama mienu na ode ne koko sika ye. Ode ye dey. Ida so ode beto aduane ahwe na busua. Ana se wo de ebese na afuo mu. Meboa. efuomu de na maye no nti yemfa ne say what they hwe na busua na ebi aka na ode asi dan ana mewa say food, clothing and shelter enti no de bi to aduane a ode be to atare na ode bi asi dan
no de bi ato electricity bill de bi atua water bill.
Oh, you're lovely. Ye hwe nisisi a menim nti a ode ye hono na aba nti ye be ko ye hwe nisisi a ade ne say aduane na obeto no Ghana for pemo pa
emo bo abafo
emo bo first na 700 Ghana and emo na 300 350 eti no sam yeri say offer 2587
yes
na wo de kotomo a and kufu ado ebra na ma 3100 no na unya emo no
5 kg
no unya 4 bags
okay
and no 25 kg na me dey here no 25 kg
okay dey same 5
and dey same 5 okay akufu ado time na unya 4 bags
okay
and sa sikana ya de ma 2587 no ye tuawa se o de kwa kohwe abusua akoto aduane a otomo a obenya 7 bags se ye wo a obetusu 3100 and as obetusu 2850 eno ko da nchen a obi se ye wo
yes
na uko sidan wato aduane ama wato ntos wa bibia amodidi ni aka obeso odi sidan na obeto cement ni edi sidan anwia de ka betutu bu ofitire kra na watwa wa blocks cement ebra na akufo ado wo no ma 3100 cement bag no na 120 Ghana in fact baby kra ho na 130 me area ho no mo tashi no ma 1 na me ton 130 Ghana
okay na de he bia
I think that omu change it sometimes Dangote they never supply gas they never supply gas but even they say 120 na do one aton 120
that's fine
sa 3100 na president Akufo Addo de ma no na ukoto cement a osika na kana ukoto cement no benya 25 bags
okay
and then niema titia pansam na ajeje nsam na ama aban no aloki awate so no
2500
na o 2500 no ukoto cement na 75 Ghana enti no utimi to cement no 34 bags obi ya wo a na obechuso you see until we do the real analysis for the people to understand people like Miracle Abuaje and Poyanomo will deceive everybody and they will get the farmers to lose what is so priceless for them. Ladies and gentlemen,
the farmers should know say 2500 no papa saying 3100.
I want them to understand say in real terms nominally the brony free be nominal and real and also the be by net and gross it's gross and nominal it's net benefit of the farmer right now
and no 2005 better
which one roughly is over 50% far better from all the analysis that I've done over 50% far better than near MPP for the moment. So in real terms the farmer is gaining. But you see,
now
I was very excited. I told you some Prekonam because Ubusa very wonderful question. Saint you know our school. Onim dear teacher ni atro actually na dia wa pass exams. No wa certificate. Now wonim sa niam we nyina na ote ase. No on kire kruani no da kruani no. Eyema no.
Okay. Because you know sir, you cannot also gaslight kruani no. In the won't mean ko kire kruani no de eyema no. Kruani na nim de eyema no.
Na ni omu kache kuafo no e kache kuafo no you can gaslight them so kache me akamu say they should stop gaslighting the farmer.
Do you think they are?
Yeah.
Are you not rather the one gaslighting
exceedingly
them? But you are telling them
explain to me why explain to me why
times better
I've told you why they are gaslighting them. Tell me why you think I am gaslighting them. What is it?
You are telling them sir in real times no I was say omoji 2500 if I know you're saying 3000
Obi and now what hey we pay awoje and Tony Amado do what first no so what are you telling me? So what is gaslighting? It is real. It is the net effect of the economy.
That's fine.
You understand? What is gaslighting? Gaslighting is going to lie to the person. So the nominal figures that they are earning is better than the real figures that is benefiting their family.
No, that would be propaganda. Gaslighting is letting the person know, say, what you are feeling.
No, gaslighting, no.
I am telling you what you are feeling.
Gaslighting, that's not the meaning. Go to your dictionary. Gaslighting, your friend gaslighting, they say, will be ekura crazy.
You are telling the person his reality.
No paja tum na akwaje no aginsem. Eti ni buofu e na wodi bi ka ho. That's gaslighting. You to go here. Gaslighting in essence. No, gaslighting in first principle is deceiving somebody and adding insult to injury. Basically,
gaslighting is the practice of psychologically manipulating someone that be into questioning their own sanity and their own memory. You are telling the person what he is feeling, rather than the actual feeling or no feeling.
But so what is Miracle doing?
What do you think he's doing?
He's telling them that 3,000 2,500 yate value so it means nothing. Yes, and I make catch say in real time. Yes, no.
So they
are playing psychological game on the farmers. And now, when himself farmers, no sabium prediasa, a binsun to me, immediate analysis. So they are psychologically trying to play on their minds. And so they are gaslighting. What I'm telling you is the reality. Uko jamanswa, emo ya tona he. Cement ya tona he. Fertilizer ya tona he. Condemn ya tona he. It is their reality. They know. So sometimes, if you don't allow some of this truism to go to the farmer will now be susceptible to gaslighting, like the MPP is doing. Okay. And that's why I'm in the studio today.
Dr. Peter Boamah,
to quench their gaslight.
Oh, wait, too much. Director Presidential Initiative in Agric and Agribusiness, Office of the President. Why?
Let's have time and discuss Agric broadly.
Let's
look into that. I want the nation to look into the eyes of President Mahama and see what President Mahama is seeing, so that as a nation we can work together. It's the best way to do policies. Get the people to go with you. If you journey with them, you never get it wrong. If you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. So let's find time and have a conversation.
We deal with the presidential initiatives now for how it will benefit the Ghanaian people. Dr. Peter Boamah Otokonnor and the training Kano.